driving down the back street on D's. I got my Glock cocked cause niggas want these. No soon as I said it, seems I got sweated by some nigga with a Tech 9 trying to take mine. You wanna make noise, make noise.
Alright, so, yeah, the funny thing is, like, it figures as soon as I say something about, you know, this store not having much, like, I walk in there, like, today they actually had, not a ton of stuff, but they had a few really good games that I wanted to pick up. And, you know, of course, I don't have the money to buy all the games that I wanted to get in there. But the first thing I came across was, like, I seen a couple boxed N64 games, and they all were complete. They all had the instruction manual and everything in it. And I already have, they had Banjo-Kazooie, which I already have complete. Although this one looked like it was in a little bit better shape. They had Zelda, not, I'm trying to think, I think Majora's Mask. No, they had Ocarina of Time. And I already have that one boxed. And the only one that interested me was Perfect Dark Zero. Or Perfect, it's Perfect Dark, right? Perfect Dark 64, I don't remember exactly. But anyways, I was going to maybe buy that. He told me it was $14.99, which I guess it's like, you know, fair. That's like average price. It's not incredible, it's not horrible. The only thing is it needs the expansion pack, and I don't have one. He said he had one there, but he wanted $15 for the expansion pack. So I'm like, okay, those two there is going to send me back like 30 bucks. And as I'm looking at this game, he said, you know, I have some Dreamcast games too. So I went over and looked at the Dreamcast games, and there was one right off the bat I knew I was going to get. I'll show you guys when I get home. You know, I'll do a different video on that. I don't want to, and I picked up anyways. I picked up 3 Dreamcast games. So, you know, that's cool. That was a nice surprise. But now I'm just gonna go home. I can't go out and spend any more money. This is actually money that I had saved up just set aside for video games. That way, you know, I'm not spending any of me and my wife's money for like bills, stuff like that. So, whatever. I mean, that's the money I had saved up for that. So, you know, it was, you know, just, I don't know, I won't tell you how much I spent, but I'm happy with what I got, and I needed to add to my Dreamcast collection. There's one game that I had in there that I bought that I've already owned before, and it's my favorite game, maybe my favorite game of all time. It's definitely the best Dreamcast game in my opinion. But the other 2 games are games I've never owned. One they remade on the GameCube, pretty sure, so that might give it away for some of you. The other one they remade on the Xbox, so that might give it away for you. And one thing I was thinking about last night, because I was watching a show and they made reference to this, is like some of the cartoons and like some of the like animated movies that I grew up with, that we grew up with in the 80s, are, if you look back on it, it's like they're kind of freaky. Like they're some of the stuff that they did then, they would definitely not do now. I mean, it would just scare kids half to death. And to think like that these movies and that these shows and cartoons were like geared towards kids, like it's kind of wild. You know, you could just find little tiny references, and I guess you can still find it in some of the cartoons today, but I don't know, some like the cartoons today are pure garbage in my opinion. Like there was a lot more work that went into the cartoons back then because they didn't have some of the tools that they have today, and it seemed like because of that they put just like more work into it and they put more effort into it, and it produced something better. But the one animated movie that I was thinking about, and like I just vaguely remember it, but like I remember as a kid it just made me depressed, was The Last Unicorn. And that movie was just, I don't know, there was something, I don't remember exactly what it was about that movie, but I just remember that it was like, I don't know, it just was like such a bummer watching that movie. Something about it, I have to like I really want to pick it up and watch it again just so I can like reminisce a little bit and remember about that movie. I was trying to think, there was another movie that I was thinking of, but like, you know, like movies back then, even like kids movies just had like a darker tone to them, and stuff like, for instance, now I know Bambi was, you know, I don't remember when it was made, but it wasn't the 80s for sure. It was, you know, years and years ago. But like that movie, you know, it's pretty dark and stuff when you think about it. Like the fact that, you know, Bambi's mom gets killed by a hunter. I mean, you know, for a kid to watch that now, I don't know, maybe I don't pay enough attention to kids' movies, but, you know, there's stuff like, I like a lot of the, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the name. A lot of the Pixar movies, I like them, and they seem like real lighthearted a lot of times. Now, like they're made to really appeal to a wide range of people and like a really broad audience. So, you know, I love all the Pixar movies. The other ones are like the Studio Ghibli, which are incredible. Now they do have a little bit of a darker tone, but I don't think that they're geared towards kids. At least not American kids. I don't know, maybe Japanese kids, like, you know, are more used to this kind of stuff. But those are definitely a little bit darker, a little bit different. You know, that's why, I don't know, I don't think that they appeal to the kids here. I mean, I think they appeal more to like adults and people in their 20s, you know, whatnot. If you've never seen a Studio Ghibli movie, then you should definitely check it out. There's a couple that are out. There's several. You know, one that I would certainly recommend is called Spirited Away. You should definitely check that one out. That's a really good one, in my opinion. So, I mean, you could do a search for it, and you can see all the movies that they have, and they're pretty reasonably priced. I don't think that they're out on Blu-ray yet. So, you know, you have to settle for DVD, but still, I purchase a lot of DVDs, even though I've got a Blu-ray player. But I was just thinking of some of the, like, also some of the cartoons that we grew up with. Like, I don't know if you guys remember David the Gnome. That was a Nickelodeon one. That cartoon I used to like just be in a trance watching. Some of the other ones, you know, Tom and Jerry, you know, the Smurfs, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, X-Men, like the original X-Men cartoon. That was like one of the best cartoons. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. That was like, I would wait for Saturday mornings just so I could watch that. And I don't know if it's me, but just, you know, Saturday morning cartoons don't seem the same anymore. I would hate to be a kid growing up now, but I guess, you know, they like their SpongeBob and stuff like that. I mean, that's cool. I can't get into it. Like, I know people my age who like SpongeBob, and like I've watched a couple episodes and I've thought that it's kind of, some of it's witty and some of it's funny, but it's not like something that I go crazy about like a lot of people do. I don't know, I just find that kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, it just brings me back to my point of like, cartoons nowadays, kids' cartoons just don't seem like they're as high quality as like what we grew up with or what I grew up with. And I mean, like I said, I'm a child of the 80s. There's a lot of things about the 80s that I remember and that I think about, and I'm just like, I wish it was still like that. But I guess that's how it is for every generation. I mean, kids growing up in the 90s probably feel the same way about, you know, the 90s. You know, now they're, you know, if you were born in 1990, now you're 19 years old. That's crazy to think about. Or, yeah, I mean, you could be 19, you're 18 or 19, whatever. You know, so, you know, some of those things, some of those people now are probably like, you know, man, things were so much better in the 90s. And I guess, I don't know, I'm a little bit of both. I'm a kid of the 80s and the 90s because I was born in 81, so, you know, when the 90s rolled around, that's really when I got heavily involved in video games, and I got to see all those incredible consoles of the 90s.
What all the niggas saying?